Four. Oh shit! Shoot! I'm all cussing already. Everybody, like we're live. I'm just cussing away. Yeah, yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to. Actually, just started vacuuming upstairs. Okay, I'm in a hotel right now, you guys. And checkout was like an hour ago, but I get to stay. I'm staying another day, and they're vacuuming the room upstairs. You guys can't hear that, but I am here with my buddy Frank Morans.
Hey, everybody.
We're going to talk about General Hospital. What happened in Port Charles last week or so? A lot has happened, actually. Well, there's a lot to off camera and on. So a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk about it all. I'm going to get to the chat, of course. We did do YNR and we did Bold. Both of those are out now, audio and the video. Yeah, video, audio, but they're both out now. So you can check those out. Me and Tammy Govea had a great time talking about that, both of those. Amanda Russ will be back. She apparently woke up during our show and was messaging us saying, "Oh my God, we had a show today." So we just say she's on assignment somewhere. Me and Tammy were laughing. She literally woke up during our show texting us. It's a show? Oh my God. So we will deal with her next time, folks. We will deal with her next time. We love her. But we're here to talk about General Hospital. Also, after this, go check out my chocolate twin, Tony Moore, who we talk about days of our lives and always about how old I am. So, but here's something funny, you guys. I'm working on something as a rebuttal to Tony's James is older than series. So stay tuned for that. So make sure you tune in Edition Days. I'm probably I'm pointing over there. It's over there somewhere on the YouTube. Over there, Frank. It's over there. It's over there. He's like, hi guys. Oh, Frank got a nice little haircut, didn't you?
Oh, just a little.
Oh, I like the fade. I like it. I don't want to look this way. Like I can see someone.
There you go. So you can just see all around. There you go.
Yeah, I like. Oh, looks good, Frank. Looks good. But check out Edition Days also. They're on for your Days of Our Lives pleasure. So check them out. Tell them James and Frank sent you. Also, I just want to give you a little. Oops, I pressed the button on here. That wasn't it. Also, want to give you a little side note. I am doing the Only Murders in the Building after show. It's on season 4. They just been greenlit as season 5. But the show is hilarious. It is good. It is drama. It is comedy. If you have not checked out Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez, the trio I never thought I needed, but can't live without, go to Hulu. Check it out. And speaking of that, folks, I came home to LA because I have DirecTV and did not know I don't have ABC or FX or FXX or ESPN or anything Disney related. Luckily, I have Hulu Disney Plus. But so you guys folks out there who have DirecTV, I feel your pain, Frank. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That is a bummer that hopefully gets fixed sooner rather than later.
Hello, I'm like, come on. I want my ABC, my local ABC. I want that. I don't know if you can find other places, but I just turn on the TV and watch it.
Yeah.
Come on, folks. So hopefully they'll fix that.
Plus, you also had your great interview with Cody.
Yeah, so if you guys have missed it, I forgot that happened last night. So me and Josh Kelly, thanks to Tony Moore, my chocolate twin, who introduced us, we did 2 interviews, one for my Will I to Live after show and one for this. And I actually asked him, would Cutter and Cody be friends? So you got to check one of those interviews out for that answer. Nice guy. And so check that out. That is there. And check out my latest episode of GH Dirty Deeds, where I tell you why I've not been able to get guests. So check that out also. Always you got to tell you guys the truth. Shame the devil. But keep in mind, it is Michelle Stafford's soon-to-be 30th anniversary of playing check that off and on YNR. That is there. Oh, shut up. And chances are there'll be an interview with me and her. So I'll probably mention some General Hospital stuff too, as we're doing that. But that's that's my girlfriend. So
I mean, I'm sure she misses me.
Well, of course. I mean, of course. Hello. Of course. But folks, do not despair. I've been busy working out of town, live for business. And I'm going to give you a little teaser. It's a teaser for Frank too. I hope I'm seeing in the distance still, but it's getting a little less blurry. I'm hoping to open my own studio.
Woo!
So it's becoming a little closer to a dream a little bit. So you may see me and Frank in studio together. Still waist up. But but you might still see us in the studio. You're not gonna see the whole body. We're not doing all that. Anytime. So I'm like, let me do this real quick. You'll see all of us in just head still. But
That's right.
but I'm getting closer to that dream, you guys. I'm working on some stuff. So please be patient. Thanks for being patient when I have to go away for a while. We won't be here next week. So I'll be in Canada with the When Calls to Heart people. But the 22nd, we'll be back. So just want to make sure everybody says that. So Frank, I'm working on some stuff, Frank.
Man, I look forward to seeing you back at the AfterBuzz building.
I didn't say I didn't say that, Frank. Katie Sunday. I did not say that.
Glad to see you and Kevin have mended.
No, we didn't say that. We didn't say that either. None of those things have been said. None of those things have been said whatsoever. Frank is spreading fake news and things like that. Hi, I like Frank haircut. Frank, I know Frank wanted to look nice for us, and he does. Oh,
It's true.
I love that. All right, yeah, JLJ Studios is coming. Okay, so let's get started. We actually got lots to talk. We have lots to talk about, and I guess I'm gonna start with the Kate's because last time we were here, we are talking about everything leading up to this, basically. So I guess now we can talk about from that on. Yes, I thought it would be a whodunit, Frank. Actually, so they shocked me. And I gotta say this actually in general. I'm gonna say this in general. Actually, I want to start this way. So I'm all over the place. See, now I can think for a living because I'm not in a hot house. I can think. I'm gonna ask Frank this first. And you guys at home. In general, I'm loving the pacing, the surprises, the mixtures people were getting on screen. I think General Hospital is better than it was in a long time. So I'm actually, Frank, and hope you at home, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that. I mean, I'm still, yeah, as we said before, we would always take a faster pace, even if some of the storytelling isn't as great.
Right.
At least that means that it's over and done with, and we're moving on to something quicker, as opposed to like sitting in a bad storyline for so long as we've had in the past. So even while like the Jagger Kate stuff, I mean, they ramped him up from like, you know, 0 to 60 to be a Looney Tunes cop.
Yes.
And that they took him off. Yeah, I was also with you. It's like, oh, I thought this would be a murder mystery that they'd be setting it up, like who killed Jagger. But then also thinking like, well, the suspects would be pretty limited. It would only end up being Sonny, Christina, and Alexis. Maybe.
Which I would have taken.
Yeah. So it's an interesting turn that it's taking now. So yeah. How do you I know it was a recast, but still it is and a character that has not been seen for a while regularly on canvas. But still a character that did have some popularity and had a fan base. How do you feel about the way that Jagger was sent off the canvas?
Well, we know that we've said this on the show for the problem that Frank and I have always had is that we know that no one bests Sonny. That never happens. Other characters have fallen and gone back up, but for some reason, Sonny doesn't professionally. It never happens. So the whole ramping up of Homeboy's anger, resentment, it felt a little much for me. And I know it did for you, Frank, too. It felt a little much. It's like it's a little over the top. However, I enjoy Adam J. Harrington's portrayal that I was okay with it on some level. Like I was able to go, okay, I like that this guy's acting. He's actually doing a good acting job. It's kind of I like it, but we knew he'd be a sacrificial lamb in the end. I just knew he would be in the end. He's a character I wish could stick around. I wish he hadn't killed him. But for shock value, for good old soapy goodness, shock value, Sonny just shoot him point blank and shot him twice. He was like, "I just make sure you're dead, motherfucker." Bam, down there. I was like, "Wow," which gives us the Sonny of old. That Sonny is the guy with the heart of gold, is the code. Sonny's a killer also. So it's kind of like they're showing us that. But what was great was this guy came on and kind of won many of us over because it wasn't Antonio Sabato Jr. He was a different character on Night Shift. He's a whole different character then too. But it's been a long time. Anything can happen. You can rewrite history. Anything can happen between the time you were on to the time you come back. That's the beauty of being off camera. And there's no books or anything out there on him. It's like it's just completely you turn around. So a little over the top, Frank, but I think him as the actor had chemistry with people. I liked him. I wish I could have kept him around.
Yeah. I mean, there were certainly, different like you know, interactions with him and Lois that I liked.
Yes.
I was like, oh boy, it would have been nice to see seeing more just like the not so much the Sunny of it all, but just his past in Port Charles being opened up and explored a little bit, and him reuniting with different people that he knew back in the day. And I thought that there was something to be mined in that, but for whatever reason, yeah, well, as we've seen, writing regimes have changed very frequently recently. So for whatever reason, though, it just felt like, hey, he was brought in here just for this, and we're just going to push him towards that and move on to other stuff.
And that's what it is. And so, folks, I chalk this all down to this new writing machine that doesn't want to write for him. And that's their right. It's their right. That's their right. It's their right not to want to write. They inherited characters and storylines. So now it's like we can cut the ones we don't want. That's not. That's not. They didn't start that storyline, so they don't want to do it. And like Frank opened up with earlier in the show, I actually can appreciate them going, okay, we're cutting off now, done. It was nice. And the thing about Jason, the thing about Robin, I think Kimberly McCullough actually, she does it. She's doing a lot of directing and stuff. But I think she has a baby right now or a kid right now. I don't think she's going to do much on-screen stuff anymore. I thought I read that somewhere. I thought that
Yeah.
it's actually Kimberly McCullough is going like, I'm not going to really do much more acting. So I know it'd been nice to have the guy. I don't think that's why she hasn't been home for Anna recently or anything either. So I think she's not but I think she might make an appearance if like Anna was leaving or someone's gone. I mean, she might do that, but she's like, that's why they had Brooklyn come on that last time
Mm.
and not Robin, because Robin's, I think the actress is like, I'm not really doing that shit more
No,
anymore.
I mean, I think if you were ever to have a funeral for Robert or Mac,
Right.
or Anna, or any kind of, thing like that, I would think you would see her show up for that.
Well, she came for Sean. Remember Sean Donnelly?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So Jesus was just like, well, recast then. Oh, I was like, yeah, they could, but they could. But I mean, I don't know. Some viewers, I think, some actors are just so in that role. They could be cast, they could, but then it wouldn't have been the same. It would two new actors. There would be no connection. I mean, it wouldn't mean anything. At least if we had the old Robin meeting with Jagger, then it could be some kind of connection. I think it wouldn't work. They did two new characters, but that's neither here nor there. Homeboy dead, so that's it. So he's off.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it was something like what we've seen, something like with Dex in the Pine Barrens, where it was drawn out that it's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, and then it never happens. And so for I felt like a while they would put Sonny in these situations where he was threatening to kill somebody, and they would drag it out, and then nothing had ever happened. And this time, nope. I even felt like Jagger felt like at some point in that conversation he realized like, uh-oh, I played this all wrong with Sonny.
oh, when Jagger got shot, he was like, and then fell back. It was kind of like, you shot me. And I almost wanted him to say that, like, you actually shot me, and then fall to the ground. I think like he was surprised. Like, Sonny really gonna do this?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I agree with you, Frank. It was kind of like he's really gonna do this, and that was it.
Yeah, from part of me, it was like, come on, Jagger, you can't be that to think for as much as you hate Sonny, you know how he operates, and you can't imagine that if after you've henpecked him this much about this, that he's just gonna just sit there and not
And
do
no backup. You know, lie and say, I have been, you think I didn't come myself, but you came by yourself, clearly.
Oh yeah.
And no vest, no nothing. So they wanted to end the storyline, Frank. I saw I saw it purely for what it was. They wanted to end the storyline. They want to move on to something else. And I don't really hate that. I get it. I mean, I get it. It's a as a writer myself, you're like, I don't want to write for him anymore. So he's gone.
But for the planning of it though, not exactly Sonny's smartest way to get rid of somebody.
Oh, but come on, Frank. The best scenes come up next, Frank. Come on, Frank. I mean, the
God.
best scenes come up next. I mean, they kind of turned this into a farce a little bit on some level, which makes me it happened on the Q's land. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Oh, Adam Harrington apparently, because he met with Michael Fairman. I try to get Adam myself, but apparently I'm not good enough. Um, he says in the interview, Michael Fairman, he went into all that. Well, I won't be watching the interview, so that's fine. If you guys want to check that out, check it out.
Hmm.
Um, but no, it's funny. The funny part, well, first having Michael show up.
That was the one thing I was surprised by, that he would be the one to show up. And interesting that he just went along with everything. He was like, "All right, I'll give you an alibi. You get to the house, I'll cover for you for that." That was surprising.
And we're not done yet, Frank. The surprises keep coming. Carly's there. She had just been towed off by Dante, and she's there. And he runs into her. He's like, I need an alibi. And he should just follow me along. And of course, she's like, sure, okay, I'll do it. Well, I'll do it. But the part that's the funniest, well, some of the funniest, is the ensuing cues. Seeing them when he started working with his pants and
Yeah.
covered Dale, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" I could stop laughing. I'm sorry, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. I thought that is actually really funny. And because this whole thing, I was just like you guys did what? Like what? And so now Carly's being. I didn't see that coming either. Did not. And then Nina's there.
Yeah. She's like, so you guys are back together now? Yeah.
And she looked at her, she said it, she kind of just like, it's like just walked up. But it's Tracy. Tracy's reaction. And Ned and Wally Kurth was busting up. I'm like, I think that's Wally laughing in the corner because he was just like, when she started to gag, when he
Yeah.
realized it was in her bed, oh my God, I was crying so hard. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Oh, I loved it. I did not see that coming either. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that
Yeah.
coming. That
And
was
I mean, even giving Geo the little, like the filthy four-legged creatures is my band name or whatever.
oh when he was but see then when he went to tell Joss, Trina had me laughing actually because he was like, yeah, was like, he had the tea. He was coming in and spilled the tea. And he went in there and she was like, and she's like, yeah, and it was which my Uncle Sonny and your mother. And when
Oh,
Josh's face went from smile to what the, and she was like, oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing there either. It was hilarious. He goes, I mean, you're right. Maybe they were just joking. They were just trying to get. But I was like, oh my god! I was like, it to me was just hilarious. It was hilarious. So all the reactions of all of that, and then Carly like, what's going on here? Because she knows what's going on, and then, but see what was cool. There's two scenes I liked a lot after that. Carly going back to the apartment with Sonny, their whole talk, and that's the thing about it's one of the scenes. The other one we'll do in a second, but that was now these beggars medications, and because they always got along fine when they were not together, they realized they're not good together. So fans, they literally told you they're not. I kept telling you guys they're not getting back together. That's done. But it's just very interesting to throw them back together in this weird way that I didn't expect. But that's what they do. They will help each other. The Three Musketeers. It's her, Sam, and Sam. The wrong person. Hers, Jason, and they have a. She said we have a toxic dynamic. She knows it. She's like, you're drawn, and she didn't want to be drawn into this. She really didn't want to, but she can't help herself. Frank. This is decades, Frank. This is
yeah.
decades. We're there for, well, the next scene is when she talks to Joss, and Joss going off. The fact of everything that Carly said, though, about that whole thing is the truth. Whether it's
No,
right or not,
yeah. I mean,
or wrong, it's just that it's how it is. That's right.
there is something about you know, there's not many people that could call out Carly or take her to task that she will care about what they have to say. And Jocelyn is one of them. So it was interesting, like, she's grown Jocelyn up to be this, this strong, independent woman. And now we're just seeing in a moment where they're at two different sides about Sonny. And and so Carly can't just like get Jocelyn just like, hey, you just gotta understand. Jocelyn's like, she's older now. She's past that. She's like, no. I've got my own thoughts and ideas and opinions about Sonny and the way that this whole thing is going down, even though she doesn't know the full story. But even if she knows the full story, like, well, she's known enough to like either you're alibying him
Yep.
or you're actually sleeping with them. Neither are great.
Right.
Uh,
That was her point. He's
yeah,
like, no matter which one she goes, no, don't tell me. She's like, that was her whole point. Either scenario is not good. You're being drawn back in.
yeah. I mean, I do like that it is great that they're acknowledging to the fans like, hey, we're not really getting back together, but for the sake of this beat of the story, we're going to pretend that we're back together just to
But
help.
see, Frank, we've always said that. Give us a scene that explains something. Because
Yeah,
in the other regime, we would have just settled back together.
yeah, that's true.
I was already got like we're not knowing anything. But I love that they just said basically we're not getting together. But I looked at her, was like, Joss, I love you. I'm a grown woman, bitch. I am not giving up Jason or Sonny. She's
Yeah,
not giving up. She's like, she goes, we're family. We have kids together. We're a family. And I know you don't like it, but that's just it. She was like, that's just it. She was like, no, girl. I know what I'm doing. But you're right. But whenever Josh said something which wasn't a lie completely, it hit Carly a little bit.
yeah.
Like I can't really. You're kind of right, but I get where Carly's coming. This is decade. It's self destructive, of course. It's all that stuff.
These are those things where just when you realize like your parents have a whole other life that you can't fully grasp. And so, to have this whole history with Sonny that a lot had before Jocelyn was around, that she just doesn't she doesn't realize just how things were just kind of set and stuck and locked in place long before she was
Um,
around.
Angel Blue, I saw that. So yeah, so Laura writes on Daily Dose of Drama with Bradford and Steve, and I watched the interview because I actually like them. And she said Sonny would have to beg and plead to get Carly back, and if he begs, she says no. I was like laughing. Um, Mick Floyd, thanks for a $10 super chat. Speaking of writing, they patched Ava and Nina right back up. That's a clear rewrite because Ava needs friends. Um, they wrote her into a wall. Nina has friends. So we'll get to that, Mick. We will get to that. We're not there yet, but we'll get to that storyline. Yes.
And the one thing I was kind of bummed about with this storyline is like this whole big thing, as much as we were tired about the Sonny and his meds
yes.
storyline, is the one I don't think it was common knowledge to Kate's or uh uh um not
Anna.
Mara West. Yeah,
Ava.
Ava, that Sonny was back on his medication.
Yeah, I don't even know either.
And so I was hoping that would play a little bit in where, like Jagger was, you know, trying to kind of push buttons and thinking that Sonny was off his meds, and that was going to be his downfall, not realizing that Sonny had gotten his mind back together in a better place, that he wasn't going to fall for such whatever kind of stuff that Jagger was going to do. But ultimately that didn't really play anything into
Well,
anything.
because Frank, Ava was trying to save herself from some chick. Like she was busy over there driving on some road. This chick was like, "I gotta kill you." I
Yeah,
mean, literally, he's blackmailing me too. I was like, "Oh my god!" I love that they made Ava smart. It was like when she went to the purse and all stuff, it was like, "They're expensive glasses. It's a wad of cash." Like you're not. Remember we talked about last time the whole gun thing. Like she knew it was guns or like it was so smart. I love they made her smart and. I was talking to Walker. You guys know Walker from my daytime Emmy specials. How he's enjoying this part of the storyline too. He's like, the thing is, we all thought it was gonna be a murder mystery against Ava. It's like it was going that direction,
yeah,
but it didn't. But the fact that that was going on over here, and that Sonny was right to begin with, He was right. It was like, don't, he was trying to kill her. He was so obsessed. It was like, it was so over the top. It was like, oh my God, he was right.
Did it seem weird to you that we did not have a beat of Jagger kind of setting stuff up, or were you fine with it like just jumping to the hotel and then realizing, holy cow, Jagger is is setting it up to have Ava killed?
Well, if I remember correctly, that's part of the old regime, though. I think it's part of the one before this one. I feel like I figure these jumps are kind of weird because they're still switching over.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed that seemed kind of like a kind of a bump for me. It's like, man, we went from Jagger kind of schmoozing on Ava, and it seemed like there was maybe Ava was kind of playing Jagger a little bit to help her out. To all of a sudden, no, nope, Jagger is gonna
That's
just
what I
get.
mean. I think I think you're right. I'm saying it could be because of I forgive us some of this stuff because of just they were middle of writing changes. So I'm thinking that was part of the other one before. I mean, I don't. That part you're right. You're right. I was okay with that. So it was like they're getting rid of him. So I knew at that point they were getting rid of him. So I was like, okay, I guess that's it. They're done. And now they're done. I mean, he's dead. But I love that her and Jason had to work together. That
Yeah,
was kind of cool. And it gave a valid entry to the new Doctor. We'll get there. We'll get there, Frank. I will get there. I'm just saying, at least he was on the road or whatever. But I'm just saying, at least it gave him some kind of entry in to bring it to he's in Port Charles, and now he's in Port Charles, like he's in Port Charles. But that whole thing happened. Jason had to help Ava.
and I did like that. He's like, Ava kept on wanting, like, I'll just go wait in the car. Oh, no, 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 no. Get back here. We're doing this
He's like, no,
whole thing
bitch,
together.
Frank over here. This is your mess. I mean, it was so what he said. He goes, no. I was like, I started laughing. I was like, oh my God. He was like, yeah, you just handle this. Like, really my problem. He did say that. I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, Jason, that's hilarious. He's like, you're gonna wear a bitch. So he said, what do you want to do? And she had that gun in her hands, and I was like, that's old Ava. I love it. I love it. I was like, her to get, and the rain was coming down, and I was just like, it was so good. She was like, nah, I'm not gonna kill her. So she ended up, and ultimately, it helped her out corroborating the story. And Anna was just like, really? What's going on here? You gave us a statement saying blah blah blah, and but she had to believe him. Had to believe him. I mean,
I mean,
that's
they weren't misleading her. They were being genuine about exactly how it all went down.
yeah. So she's like, okay, I guess that's true. And now Kate's, I mean, and then she goes straight to Sonny's apartment.
Man, I am finding the Anna and Jason relationship interesting and kind of this spot they're putting Jason in. Because I don't feel like Jason certainly has loyalty to Sonny, but I also don't know if he really wants to just go back and be
Right.
Sonny's right-hand man. And so for him, whether it's doing stuff with the WSB, which very much intrigues me, uh,
Yes.
or since we're not going to have Curtis do it, obviously, uh, or just there's just Ava, like just Anna and Jason talking afterwards, and she's like, "Oh, I'm very proud of you for just like you called the cops and you did all this," and just I don't know, there's just something about that dynamic that I'm enjoying.
I agree. So I'm chewing. So it's a little, there's a place that I love, and I know the CEO. It's called Hello, I'm Ugly. And these are dried upcycled peaches, and they're so good. They
Ooh.
send me free stuff all the time. I love them. So check them out at your local store. I'm chewing that. I agree with Frank. I agree with Frank. I do agree with Frank. I was still talking to Frank. I agree with you also, Frank. I agree with Frank, and I agree with you, Frank. Of that too, because like I said, that one exchange where she called him out, but then he called her out. It was kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, bitch, take that, bitch. You can't say much either.
Hey,
And so now they both are, because Anna's trying to find Valentine, well, more Charlotte. So there's a whole thing there. And then Jason, I agree with you. I feel like Jason's like, because she goes, "Are you his right hand man now? Do you want to be because you're right?" He never said he was though. He never said, he doesn't say words. He didn't say he was.
yeah.
Yet he has the gun in his back pocket back there as we left it. But we have to, before we go further to that, they did something I was shocked also. Alexis finds the gun Christina had. She went crying to Adela slash Irene's website, Western website.
Her website. Just logged on. I'm gonna cry.
It's on her website. Her grave site. Sorry, kids. So they over there. Meanwhile, Alexis freaks the fuck out. I'm like, why are you freaking out, girl? So she finds a gun, but I'm like, come on, pull it together. That part was a little weird. She was like freaking out like that. And she's calling Diane and blah, blah. But then she goes to the bridge. And I was like, is she gonna try to dump this gun? I'm like, why is she? You're gonna call back in 5 minutes. You're calling back soon. I can make my own decision or whatever. I'm like, she's really freaking out.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Because like, if you're gonna, I understandably freaking out if you find out your daughter has a gun in her purse for sure, but not even take the beat to talk to her about that. Because if it, yes, her worst case is playing in it where she could have been responsible for killing Jagger, or she wanted to harm herself. But either way, wouldn't you want to just know exactly what you're dealing with first before you started tossing stuff out?
But it kind of surprised me, Frank. That's what saying his writing is pretty good. Good old Rick. Rick trying to woo Elizabeth. I love, folks, I love me some Rick Hurst. I do. I've always liked Rick Hurst. I love that he's like this morally gray character who he just is. People want to hate on him. He don't care. He still loves Elizabeth on some level. He don't care. He don't care. And he's just trying. But the fact that they were actually walking on the bridge and saw Alexis toss the gun.
Oh, he was such a dick this week.
He was. But I was like, but Frank, as you know, in other regimes, we may have not seen that. It may have played out for a long time. Like this was like really quick. It was like, I go, they didn't say anything at first when she left. I was like, oh my, they go, you saw that was a gun, right? It was like, yeah. Like, oh my God. So everybody's like, I love Rick. I know Rick he's a dick, but I love him. So he's just like, we know what we gotta do. And then later on, talking to Elizabeth, you know what we gotta do. And they call it Elizabeth. Oh, I never thought Elizabeth Weber. And she goes, Baldwin. You know you're doing that on purpose. You don't know who I am anymore. I love that she was thinking for her and Alexis. And he's like, I never thought Elizabeth would not do the right thing or whatever. I mean, he was, oh my God, he was so smarmy. I loved it. I just loved it.
Oh, yeah. And then just hanging back, a beat so that he could just throw a little bit more dirt on
Oh my
Alexa
God,
with Chase.
I didn't expect that either. It was like, oh, there's my pen.
Oh,
Purpose.
yep.
I just so crazy because she's killed before, but I'm like, oh my God. He said it's on record. It's on record. And she's got her law license back. I'm like, Rick.
Oh,
Oh my God. I love it though. I love it.
oh, but he was just such a jerk in that moment. It was.
I love it. I do. And
Oh,
it's just like, who's this Rick character?
yeah. I mean, which is great. Like, if you're going to bring a character that hasn't been around on the canvas in a while, but does have a following, I mean, you want to give them stuff to do. And this is great. Rick gets to just stir some stuff up, just needle people. Oh, this is great.
So Christina's case is dropped, but Ava's isn't. So I'm very curious how it's going to turn out.
Yeah. Like
Because
where this,
Ava saved Christina basically, so that's done. But Christina's case, and I wonder if Christina's going to say she didn't push me. I wonder if she'll save Ava. Because Ava didn't really push. She really didn't push her. Not really.
no, I mean,
You know?
no. She just grabbed her and then, I mean,
Yeah.
Christina just pulled away and then tripped.
And again, no one talking about them windows. Why ain't Carly and Olivia being sued?
Yeah. That's
I'm flimsy. I'm in a hotel right now. If I fall out this window, you can best believe Motel 6 and anybody else who owns this shit's gonna be sued.
yeah. Because that's not the fun storyline,
I know.
James.
Yeah,
Nobody cares about that.
I know.
In the real world, heck yeah, we're gonna go get a payday from the Metro Court or Motel 6. But
Uh, a side note, thank you, David, for your $50 or $49, $50 super chat. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. You're wonderful. Thank you. Because I hope Chase figures Rick out. I know it's kind of funny.
You can never tell Chase because there are times where I feel like he's a smart cop, and there's other times where he's just so gullible.
Yes, I agree. I totally
If
agree
you're
with that.
telling it to Dante, I feel like Dante has
Well,
a good read on people, and he'll listen to you in the minute, but inside he's like, okay, whatever. This person's trying to spin a line of BS to me.
I agree with that too. Rick is slime, but I love Rick Hurst. I don't know, that's the thing. I mean, it's Rick and okay, yes. This is the next little thing that came out of that was genius. I had forgotten that Michelle Stafford's Nina, I believe it was her Nina, and Rick were together for a minute. I forgot about that. They are married. I was like, when he came in, and he's again being a dick. He showed up just because he goes, well, you didn't tell me exactly what. She's like, well, why'd you come anyway? He's like, he knows he, of course he came. And he's like, I can't help her. He goes, but then why'd you come? You knew because she pushed my daughter out the window, pushed my niece out the window and killed my granddaughter. I can't help her anyway. So she's like, but then why'd you come? He goes, well, it's like it's just he's like she's like, yeah, because we were married once, and he's like, yeah, you were rolling around my inheritance. She's like, you love that. I was like, that's right. But he literally came, well, just be a dick.
Yeah.
Because that was no other reason. Because it was like, he just goes, well, you didn't tell me exactly what it was for.
Why not? I mean, what else am I doing here? I might as well just, put my nose in other people's business for a little bit, throw a little shade and
Right.
duck out.
And duck out. I'm like, it's so, oh my God. It's like,
Oh,
so I thought that was hilarious. And those two together, seeing Rick and Ava kind of talk, I'm like, okay, they kind of talk. It was kind of fun.
I did like when he does first show up to GH and he sees Carly and Elizabeth. Uh, and then Carly, I love it. I mean, always has something to say to Rick where it's just like,
Yes.
yeah, lock her up in inside
Well,
your
it's
house.
cool. What's like is because Laura Wright's so tall and Ripper's so short. She did this thing that makes me laugh. Because so they're talking, and they're just like, no, and it's a shame that we're friends now, and everything we have together is tied to bad thing, tied to something bad. And she's like, exactly, or whatever. And then they turn around, and there's Rick, and it went. She's like, she says one thing at one point. She goes, puts her head next to Elizabeth, and she's like, well, you're gone. You're done now, right? You had the funeral, and now you go. Or like it's like it made me, oh God, it made me laugh so hard when she did that. And Elizabeth just said she was kind of laughing. She didn't say anything. She was kind of like, okay. It's like they have a whole history there too, kids. Hardy should not like Rick. Of course not. Should not. I mean, of course not. He tied her up and changed. She was pregnant. I mean, of course didn't like her.
Yeah. No. That's one thing that's fine to hold a grudge on, guys. If
Yeah. Yeah.
you're put in chains in a secret
Yeah.
room in somebody's place.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that you're right. She always brings it up, and always any chance she gets, and he's just like, I love it. I mean, I think it's fun, but I love that it's with his character. Like you said, they're giving him play. This is a good example of when you bring somebody on, even short term, give them shit to maximize the most out of them. Like the fact that like TJ, that's his father-in-law. Portia, it's an in-law, but she's also kind of curious about it because of the Weather Weber stuff now. They took
Yeah.
that direction also. So, okay, Frank, I had to laugh. I thought of you, Frank. Ken Schreiner's claiming he's off again on social media. He always screams and hollers on social media. I'm done, I guess. I'm done, and blah, blah, blah. But then he shows up, he shows back up. So I don't know what to believe anymore with him. Right now, he is off the canvas. So I'm like, so last we saw him, so Jason is like do something too. Like I'm just curious, like where is he?
The last time we saw him was when he dropped his grocery
Yes,
bag.
I got the snacks.
Yeah. And then he just disappeared. So I guess he's in hiding because he feels like Jason and Sonny are out to get me. So I got to go into hiding.
Right.
Which is crazy, but it does, uh, give an opportunity to do more stuff with Rick. If you're going to bring Rick back, we got to get him in a court case. So what's perfect? Just give him Heather Weber.
Big Floyd said he had foot in real life. He had foot surgery. I didn't know that part, but I just saw a tweet he put out once. It was like, "I'm off again," and all these years. I'm like, so I don't know what's going on with him. It just his drama makes me laugh. He'll be his son's a drama queen. He is. He's a whole drama queen. I love it.
Certainly, the Heather Weber case feels like it has more risks of
Yes.
being, something changing in the verdict with Rick at the helm than Scotty.
Yeah, I think so too. So it's be interesting because right now that and see, so I love this. See how we're going, folks. This ties into Laura, who's now over in East Africa with her husband. Um, and then meanwhile, who's over there? They realize as they're trying to find this John Doe that he got. I guess they figured somehow he got it in East Africa or something, on the phone or something. Like something's going on. So they're like, that's where Laura is. And that's what Don's like to do with Lucky. Cut to we have Lucky, this dude who's playing cards with them, and then Holly walks in.
That was a nice, knowing that she's coming back, but wondering how it was going to happen.
Yeah,
Great entry point.
and it's a con. Which to me, I'm like, okay, here we go first. Here we go first. Frank first. We're going to the storyline. I know a lot of folks out there are not happy with this version of Lucky at the moment already. And I kind of get it a little bit. They're almost trying to make him a Luke Jr. I mean, he is Luke Jr. He actually is Luke Jr., but they're trying to make him a Luke Jr., I think. And some say it's a little too much. There's only one Luke. But yes, the Spencers always had a streak in them, but like it's a little too Luke-ish. I don't know. How are you feeling? I mean, it just started, so I don't know how are you feeling about it?
I mean, it's I mean, it's tough because Lucky's not been around for,
Right.
a while. So, and as you said, stuff happens off camera that we don't really know the whole floor. Anything could happen off camera in terms of characters' developments and changes and stuff. Yeah, it's tough with a character like that because logically there's a reason with any character, whether it's Lucky or somebody else, that there's logically a reason that they would be in Port Charles because of family connections, children, whatever it may be. But when, an actor leaves the show or the show doesn't really have an idea of what to do with that character and they just have them off canvas for long periods of time, it makes it tough to like be able to come back in and try to set up believably realistically why that character was absent for so long and make you go like, yeah, it totally makes sense. I get it. So I can understand with Lucky why some people might not be digging with it because it's just tough to justify why logically, given all the stuff that's happened with Laura and Lulu and Luke's death and all the stuff that you would not have seen this character more.
Well, Holly says we missed you at the funeral.
Yeah.
So he joked about Elizabeth.
Interesting.
So I'm like, are we doing Luke? Are we doing a Lucky Elizabeth Rick triangle for a minute?
I mean,
I'll go for it, I guess.
Liz doesn't really have anything going on right now. So,
Right,
I don't think in a Luke and Liz, it's tough. A Luke and Liz reunion is not like the easiest thing to kind of really get
right,
going. Plus, if he's only on, say, for 2 years, you
right.
know, you build all this up and then you just have what happened, then he has to go again. So that's kind of a bummer, knowing that there's not if they decide to go in a sort of a kind of rekindling that romance, that it's not really going to have legs because Jonathan Jackson's not going to stick around for forever.
Ethel says something that I that's what I'm alluding to. The powers that be is actually making Lucky a Luke Jr. and Lucky never wanted to be like him ever. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird for me too. There was always a push and pull. Lucky was a mixture of his parents.
Mm-hmm.
Lulu was closer to Luke. And they were always very close. They did the ice fishing together, always very close together. But they both had this. They had the Spencer streak. That was why they were the Spencers. They like adventure a little bit. They had no problem getting a little dirty. That was Barbara Jean. That was Carly. They're all like that. They all would. That's the thing with the Ethan. That's kind of their whole thing. They like adventure, but they're also and it's funny because that's what I'm saying. People are kind of going, Lucky's being a little too Luke. So I don't know, but I enjoyed this exchange with Holly because they do know each other, and then she's like, and she doesn't confirm or deny things. She's like, but I love him. He's this. Well, it was like this funny little thing, like the hearts what was what it wants. I thought it was so cute that they could be like that. She's really concerned because she loved Luke. Obviously, that was her. That was one of her loves. So of course, and Robert just melts his putty in his hands with the thought of Holly. I mean, it's just he just. I mean, she is, folks. Homegirl's hot. That long COVID did her some justice, I guess. Emma Samms has seen. I've been watching Emma Samms since she was Fallon on Dynasty, and this chick is hot stuff, baby. This evening, Frank.
Yeah, she's looking
Ah,
great.
she looks great. I'm like, but she said she had long COVID. That's why she couldn't come back fully. So I'm like, that long COVID did some good justice to her. I guess I don't know what's going on there because she looked amazing when they panned up to her. I was like, yeah, go bitch. That's right. Mhm. She
There, I
looked
did
good.
like that shot of Lucky playing poker, and she walks in behind him, and just hearing her voice, just seeing Jonathan Jackson's eyes, the way he's playing, he was like, "What? Uh-oh, wait, I know this voice."
Yeah, he did. I was like, I loved it. I loved it. Um, and we have to mention, we had Adam Huss back for a minute. Obviously, folks, we were bringing up Nicholas. So he was in a match, obviously. They haven't mentioned Ethan, have they? I can't remember if they mentioned Ethan or not.
They
They
haven't,
haven't.
which seemed weird to me too. It's like, hey, why not get him tested?
Yeah, get him tested.
There's
Uh,
something about just Holly and Ethan that they love to run the cons, yet the more often than not, the people that they're trying to mark are a little bit more scary, and they always think that they've got it, but invariably they don't. And so I'm already imagining like, well, Holly thinks like, oh, I'm about to get this combination for this safe from him. It's not going to go smoothly as
of
Holly's
course
thinking.
not. Of course not. Of course not. Now here's what's funny. Going back a bit, this is all part. I like that all the show stuff is kind of connecting a little bit. Let's go back a bit for a second. Speaking of combinations, we didn't talk about this part either. When Anna says, "Well, we're looking for be careful in Avery's room, all this kind of stuff, be careful, whatever, blah blah." Dex was like, "Is no, Dex is an officer now. That was quick training, quick. We're done." Which I'll forgive that, right? I don't need to see him in training forever. That's fine, right, Frank? We want to make
Yeah.
my car already. It's good. When he's like, "I don't know what lockbox is." Of course you do. I laughed so hard. I was like, "Of course you do." He walked right on over. So now the gun's missing. But he says who has combination. So I wonder how Christina got the combination.
I mean, she probably saw him do it at one point or the other, but what is so weird to me is that Sonny has no kind of security presence
No,
at all, even if he's not in the room,
right.
in his place, that he would be able to know who was coming and going from his place, even if he wasn't there. So for him to go like, who could have been here during this time? Like, it should be easy. You should be able to have your people
Right.
tell you who was here.
That's so crazy. So I just want to mention that real quick. So we want to talk about combinations.
And
Um,
I did like that they gave Dex at least that scene at PCPD with Chase and Anna. It's like, well, knowing Sonny, if you don't get it over there now, he's going to get rid of the evidence. So
Also, you see him and Christina. He was very gentle with her. So I got you at one point. He was. Someone said we got to mention that to you a little bit.
and he's also with Molly.
Yeah, that was very unexpected.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some chem testing going on here. I was like, hmm, hmm. That leads to something I don't want to talk about, but
Uh-oh. But we're here, so we may as well.
no, we could not talk about it. Screw everybody, don't talk about it. But no, it's a show. I guess correct. We have to talk. I'm thinking of.
Yes, say the
Oh,
words.
I don't want to, Frank. I don't want
Say the
to.
words.
Willow and Drew. So Drew is the whore of poor Charles. Apparently, he just macking everybody down. Um, I really want Michael to come in and just see it happen and go the fuck off. I want him to lose it. I do. And Walker, this is what Walker told me. He wants Sasha and Michael back together
Eh,
because she's the one of the girlfriends who lived, who stayed alive. They're at the Q house together. He finds out about Willow. Sasha's there.
yeah, I don't know. You had your chance, Michael. You blew it. Uh I mean, we already had Willow to the next step where she's fantasizing about Drew.
I know.
Just
I just in my chest like, ugh, I know. I'm just like,
the rewriting of Drew is interesting in this. For
yeah,
when he tells Willow, it's like, I wish that we had met before you had met Michael. Like, was that even that was never really even a possibility.
oh, because you were involved with Kim, you were involved with Sam, like, you had all these other things going on. But I mean, he was trying to add that into the whole, which I guess I can appreciate a little bit. I didn't know my father. I didn't know
And
Alan. That was a good shout out to Alan. We love
yeah.
Stuart Damon. Good shout out to him. I didn't really know him. I mean, the Jew character. Okay, everybody stop for a second. Everybody stop for a second.
All right, everybody.
Everybody stop. Everybody stop, drop, and roll. The Jew character is very interesting to me, Frank, because it's a character that actually has ties to just about everybody, and there's so many ways you can go with him. I feel like the show has never utilized him correctly. Drew has Jason's memories. There's a whole thing there with that. He's Jason's twin. There's a whole thing with that. He used to have Jason's face. There's a whole thing with that. But he's also tied to Sam. They have a kid together. Her and Elizabeth had been together. Elizabeth had been together when she thought he was Jason. There's just so many different things. He's a quarterback. There's so many different things. I just feel I don't. I'm like I feel like they just. I mean, I guess this storyline of him running for office. Okay, I guess it's a step in the right direction. I guess, but I just feel like the Drew storyline is just not. They don't do with him fully. I feel like I always say now this Willow thing. He's sleeping with Nina. He's sleeping with Willow. He's fantasizing about Willow. She's now the love of his life of some sort. It like makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, considering there is definitely an age difference between, between the two of them, which seems odd. But yeah, I mean, I feel like they just need to get out, figure out what's going on with the Drew and Nina side of it, because Nina is just turning blind eyes to all the like, dude, Drew will sleep with you, but he doesn't really care about you. And so as much as you pretend that you don't care about him, you are starting to care about him, and he doesn't feel the same.
No. And that's the thing. And actually, I mean, I can see that storyline I'll watch. I mean, because you watch Nina have her downfall again, and where we're at with that. I get so, folks. I mean, I am fully not a Willow fan. I will fully admit that. I've never been a Willow fan. Never have, never been. Day one. So I will admit that. But I will watch the show and see what they do with her. And there are parts of her storylines. I feel like they write her bad also. And I don't for this person everybody thinks is so nice. She has cheated on people. She has done things like she comes from Dawn of Day and all this stuff. And so there's a lot of stuff. I'm just like, again, I've never taken to Willow. I just haven't. I will fully admit that. I've never taken to her. But she affects so much on the canvas, it seems like. So you can't ignore her because she's on a lot of storylines. And now that Curtis now knows what's going on, Frank.
And Curtis just being an apologist, just like,
Yep.
it's fine. It was just one time. Yeah, just let it go. It's gonna be Drew. It's gonna be fine. Don't hang around with her. What I'm interested in seeing is if it because Nina and Willow have had their own rocky relationship and seems to be in a good spot now. But if this Drew thing continues, to like, how far at what point, if any, does Willow put her happiness or her quest to be with Drew because she thinks that they're supposed to be together over her love for Willow, and decides to, instead of covering for Willow with Michael, turns around and blows it up about Willow and Drew to Michael, uh, just so that Willow's life's in tatters and she can come in and swoop in and take Drew. I don't know if they'll ever go that way, but it seems more intriguing to me to see Willow, who's been so adamant about having a relationship with her daughter, reaches a point where she kind of flips a switch and does something a little petty to her daughter.
I want to say hi to the 78 people watching us live right now. Thank you
No,
guys. This is crazy. Um,
I came for the hotel room, James.
This is my background. I'll show you guys. This is my hotel room. And
Oh, look, oh,
so
we got to
hot
see where the action
outside.
happens right there.
The action right here in this bed.
Yeah.
Folks, it ain't ending that. It's dry. It's as dry as tumbleweeds over here.
Well, for right
Um,
now, that once the show's over. Hello.
hello, telephone. Outside is hot. That's why windows closed because it's 100 degrees here in Los Angeles. So we're like, it's right now it's 95 right where I live right now, right down here. So it's crazy. Um, but
Breathe.
no, I've never been a fan of Willow or any of her storylines, so I will admit that. I'm not against the actress or anything. I don't know her or anything, so I don't. I just that's just a character that doesn't serve me. But they keep giving us a lot of her, and it just has never served me. I don't.
I'm really curious to see where they're planning on taking
Right,
the storyline. Uh, and it's also like I don't want it. They keep now Willow's going to go back to being a nurse, and she doesn't want to do any of the. Uh,
right,
so I don't know. They keep doing all this stuff. I got to put my distance between Drew. Oh wait, no, I can't help it. I'm still drawn to him. Uh, so I'm hoping the show does not drag this out. Just yeah, blow it all up. Let Michael find out. Let's see what happens.
right. I know. I think I'm more interested in Drew and Nina. I'm a Daisy Flower. I because Nina is a much more complex character than Willow to me is. And even though Nina drives everybody nuts, it's entertaining. I mean, she moves plot points. I mean, I think the Willow stuff is always seems a little self-contained, though she's in a lot of stories. It's like this is going to affect Michael, I guess, and I mean it'll affect a few others, but it'll affect Nina. Nina knows what's going on though, but she doesn't know that Nina's sleeping with her. So Willow's gonna feel she got that bombshell for Willow to come out, but do I even care? Uh,
I mean, Carly will talk to her, and they can compare notes on Drew. Like, come on, you know why I had to leave Michael. You've been with Drew. You know how awesome he is in Sack,
yeah,
right?
come on, right? So it's a weird. It's yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, I don't know what I don't. Yeah, we've talked a lot about the story. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm like, let's go. What's up next? Um. So next, what do we have next going on?
Well, we
What
do have Porsche's like, or Porsche's like really, or not Porsche. I mean Jordan really invested in finding out the identity of Black Doctor and what his story is.
very invested?
I've just they've brought this up several times about is Jordan regretting, not being with the police anymore. Um, so I don't know. It's like, are they gonna get rid of Laura? Is the Heather Weber storyline setting up something that she is now going to be going on office and Jordan runs for mayor? I don't know. Are we ever doing anything with Jordan and Stephen A. Smith, or are they just destined to always kind of talk about having a date but never really going on it? I don't know. Are they setting up Black Doctor to be somebody that's going to be around on canvas for a while, and that her and Jordan are going to get together? I don't know. There's a lot with Jordan that I feel like could be done, but I just don't know what the show wants to do with her.
So it's been announced that the young doctor, I forgot his real name, is a made contract player.
Ah, well, great.
His last name is Gannon. So he's related to RJ Gannon or Hank Gannon from Want to Live.
I mean,
That's the big story right now.
it would seem why not? I don't think you give a character that kind of last name and not have some other connections. And we already know the show loves to tap into One Life to Live stuff.
Mhm. So that's the latest news. So I think yesterday. So he's gonna be a contract player. They said they alluded to the fact the other day, if you heard it, he's in his early 30s. So I don't think we'll do Jordan with younger. I don't know. If Jordan's playing mother, then we started on that. Said they have TJ when she was 9. The way she looks. I'm assuming that she's playing in her 40s.
It could be very early 40s, like if she had Jordan when or had him when she was 18, 17, 16, you know? I mean,
They didn't mention it, but they haven't said that though. Like at least with Alexis, they said she got pregnant in high school, in boarding school with Sam,
right.
because their age difference is not that hard either. They're really close. So they said that, but they've never said when Jordan got with Tommy.
Yeah.
They never said it. So you could be right, but they never said, when you and Tommy were in high school. They've never mentioned any of that stuff. And so he'll say, okay, folks. So for example, I'll tell my mother's age is fine. I'm 55. My mother is 74. She had me when she was 18 years old, but turned 19 next month. Kind of funny thing. So we're close in age. My daughter and I are close in age. My daughter's heading towards, okay, we say it out loud, late 30s, and I'm 55. Her son, she had her son in high school. So they're close in age. So I get that it happens. They get close in age. And I also get, yes, I'm black, and I get black don't crack and all that. But I will always say this, and I will always say it. For some reason, I believed Vanessa Antoine and the original one, the Taquan Richmond. I believed them. For some reason, I believed it was mother and son. I just haven't bought that Tanisha Harper, who is just stunningly beautiful. I haven't bought that her and TJ are mother and son. I just thought it doesn't ring true to me. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It just hasn't. I feel like I would almost forget that they're mother and son sometimes. I'm like, they look so good together. I was like, oh, that's kind of, but they're mother and son. And even through this whole Molly thing, the baby losing the baby, it was hard for me to believe it. That's just me. It's hard for me to believe it. Some people can whatever. It is optics. It is. I'm having the same problem with Rebecca Budig on Bold and the Beautiful. She does not look like the mother of Jacqueline McInnes Wood. It does not ring. She's not the mother of Thomas to me, or Steffi. Does not. She looks too young. She's 51. I get in theater and in some movies and stuff. There are characters in real life who are close in age, and it works. I always use the example of Blackish. Lawrence Fishburne was only 9 years older than Anthony Anderson, but somehow the way they played it, it worked. I believed it. For some reason, I believed it. So I just having a hard time believing these two are mother and son. And that's just me. If I can feel how anyone feel about that, but that's just how I've always felt that way. I'll continue to feel that way, and nothing's going to change that because she just looks too young. So
Because even if she had TJ when she was 20,
right,
say, I mean, TJ, I mean, he's already gone through med school and he's, you know, a doctor and he's been doing that for maybe a year or so. So, I mean, at least what, 25, 26 at
okay,
least. So then that puts Jordan at like 45, 46.
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, but she's a cougar. And so, young doctor, why not?
I know, yeah, no, again, yeah, why not? I guess I don't know. I don't know. The thing about Jordan, they don't do with her either. No regime was to do with her anymore. She was in storylines before.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on. Why can't they? Why can't they do something with her? I mean, having Stephen A. Smith come on once in a while to, like you said, flirt there and never go anywhere. That's old and tired. Having her as vice mayor, kind of interesting, but I feel like she's a cop. I feel like she should be back to the force. Why can't her and Anna work together?
I mean, it's frustrating because there are possibilities you see teased, whether it's her and Drew working together. I mean, I really thought Drew was going to be, or she was going to be part of some kind of Nina, Drew, Jordan possible triangle. Because there does seem to be some kind of sparks between Drew and Jordan anytime they're chatting, but nothing's ever happened with that.
Right. I like that also. Oh, so Taj in real life, TJ is 29 and Tanisha's 38. I said 9 years.
There you go.
I'm like, I mean, huh. Now Daisy Flowers said what I said. The new doctor could be for Trina. She's a grown up. She is a grown up. Apparently she's in her 20s, right? At this point, she's 21. She's drinking. 21. That, I mean, He's early 30s.
That's I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Because
You know
nothing's
the
really.
one they're trying to do it with, but they're going slow on that too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what Gio's deal is yet. I mean, they seem to be. It seemed like he was being brought on for Trina, and yet that's just kind of gone nowhere either.
Well, he's
And
probably Brooklyn and Dante's love child.
I did like how quickly that they gave Gio the bum rush after he'd spilt the tea, and they're just they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Just, okay, well, you got to go by. Okay.
Bye. She's like, bye. Close that door, click. Back to my best friend. Back to my best friend over here. I don't. I just. I I feel like with Jordan, who is beautiful, we all agree. Everybody in chat agrees. You and I agree. She is beautiful. They haven't committed to love interest for her.
No.
Not Curtis, not Zeke, not even Brick or whatever. It's like just I'm like I have no reason to believe this new doctor's going to be her love interest. I just don't. I just don't know. As we were saying, the doctor he comes off too old. I don't know where you guys are seeing that. I don't see that. I don't see how he's coming off too old. I don't see. We just met him. I don't see any age yet. I mean, I don't. At least I was thinking he was late 20s. Which again, it's not 27 is not too much more than 21, 22. I mean, that's not too. That's fine. I don't know. I don't see what you guys are seeing. I must be completely blind. I don't see what you guys are seeing. Olivia and Carly both dated Johnny. That's true. They did. He was younger. So you're right. Jordan could date, but I don't see them committing to Jordan. They don't commit to Jordan. I mean, I don't. But they didn't say they brought him on as her love interest. They haven't said that. They haven't said anything. They just like he's coming on.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems weird if you're gonna be planting this sort of kind of obsessive need from Jordan to figure out who he is,
Yes.
to not have it be like the start of like trying to put their characters together at some point. But
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I have no idea. I have no clue what they're doing with her. So I don't. With her character, it seems like nothing sticks. So I don't know. I don't. Again, the Drew Jordan thing to me was the most interesting thing out of that whole thing. Their banter, they have some chemistry. I thought, okay, well, she's a vice mayor. He's running for like that could be a good political thing. But that was a couple of regimes ago.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, and Sean says Luke was older than Laura. I know what I'm saying. I don't think early 30s and someone in their almost mid 20s is that too much. That's too much crazy. I don't think it's too crazy. But he doesn't give off old to me, so I don't know. I don't know what people are saying. I don't agree.
you didn't when he was crossing the street with his walker, so he got tagged by that car.
I don't see him as being too old. So I don't know. I just think it's, and again, I think a lot of folks, I'll say it out loud, they don't want Trina to date a black man. I'll say it out loud. They don't want her to. And I think I get flack for it all the time when I mention it. I'm like, why not? We have no black love going on for a younger set on any of these soap operas. So why not have it or have a triangle? Why not even have why not make him one of the suitors? Maybe he is a little older, and that's that part of the storyline versus Gia, who seems very immature for his age. So you want to treat him with an immature guy, which she just did with Spencer, or do you want her with somebody who's mature, has more worldly experience?
But you know what they'll say, James. They'll just start calling him a groomer.
I agree with
Oh,
her. And then,
he's grooming her.
yes, and Dex is older than Joss. That's right. He is.
He's
And
grooming Joss.
you're fine with Joss. They're fine with that. I'm just saying, folks. I get in trouble all the time, but I'm gonna say it out loud. I don't care. I think some people, everybody wants the Spencer Trina redux. That's what they want. But as you know, right now, if you ever seen both this trailer, not one, Nicholas Chavez has two trailers out right now for two Ryan Murphy projects. He ain't come back. He's gone. I told you he would come back. He's gone. He is gone.
We'll see, James.
Oh, okay, Frank, sure. And that one trailer, I was like, is this a porn movie or what? I thought they were brothers. So yes, it's very erotic. So yes. I don't know. So I don't agree with
But
that.
hey, yes, Trina should be in a relationship, but Jordan needs love too, and she was there first.
She was there first. He likes you there first. He said you were there first. I want love for all my black women. Some of them all, they're all beautiful. I said, I think Math Bell, I don't know who you are, but hi, welcome. And our 82 people watching. I said, I didn't get that either. I didn't get that looking as they were the same age. I didn't get that. Luckily, he's clearly older. He's been around for a long. He's in his 40s at this point. He's a little older. I just thought they were just, I felt like he was almost mentoring him. He was working with him to help him out, teaching him a thing or two. So I didn't get that.
Hmm.
Uh, Gio will never be a Spencer reboot. I'll never forget Gio's reaction to Christina falling out that window. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. It was. But no, I think that they got cut off early. They got the Sprina fans got cut off early with the Spencer thing. So bringing Gio in, who looks a little similar, that might be just too much to me. I'm thinking, why go different?
Mm.
And with Gio again, we don't know what they're going to do with him. He's kind of
Plays
floundered.
violin like an angel.
That's getting old too.
Uh, we have not we I realized we didn't talk about any of this about them writing Sam off
Oh,
with the
I was getting there. I
Oh,
was
wait.
getting
Oh,
there.
nice.
I'm like, folks, we're gonna get. I was gonna make sure we got some of these little tire storylines out first before we
Yeah,
get there.
I only thought of that because I'm just thinking of the Lulu stuff, which I did like having the scene, even if we can't see Lulu yet. We do get to have Tracy visiting her, which I thought was great.
The Tracy visit, the Maxie visits, I actually have enjoyed those very much. She's doing her nails. Um,
How did you feel about the Tracy Dante conversation?
ooh, that was first of all unexpected. You never see them together. Like, you never see
Yeah.
them together. And when she was blaming him,
For making Lulu safe and timid.
right? That's like, wow. That's I mean, well, we mentioned it a little earlier. We talked about it last time. But I kind of brought up where Dante goes off on Carly about Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn and Dante go, basically like we have a secret child, don't we? No, they didn't say that, but it was like they have a secret apparently between them that Carly doesn't even know about. Apparently, that something did happen. Apparently, so they're rewriting history, obviously. Um, I thought it was very interesting. I thought, again, we don't see two actors together. I like Dante when he's in other storylines. I love it. And he held his own with her. And I thought it was like, well, Tracy just is hurting. She loved Lulu. They had a very when she's called her step monster and all that stuff. They just they there was a relationship there. There was a relationship there, and it played into Dante's already insecurities. Because now they have Dante going, I shouldn't have left her. I didn't leave her. She was gonna and he mentioned the name. She was gonna marry that Lawson guy or whatever. She was gonna marry him. And I was like, why didn't I mention his name in a long time either? Because he got killed in that explosion. Which folks, Ludo doesn't know that he's dead, or Luke's dead, her father's dead, or her Aunt Bobby's dead. Like Ludo's gonna have a doozy of a time, which comes back to life. Um, And so I just think it was an interesting conversation because it was more of her kind of playing into his insecurities a little bit of how he's feeling about things. And Tracy's good at that, obviously.
Well, and I thought it was just kind of, to me, just a kind of reflection of what happens when you recast a character between Julia Berman and Emmy, where it's just there's differences in performances, and so tying that into also then Dante leaving, like commentary of like, oh yeah, how much of that is like just because Dante left or because it's a different actors playing that role,
But
and
they're
that's
also but they're also bringing up that he had his crazy time. Like we never talked about that in a long time either. That's why he said he'd be there for Sonny because Sonny was there for him when they had a little talk. He's like, you never gave up on me, thank you. It's like, but you did when I was going through my stuff, you didn't go because he didn't give up on him either. Everybody forgets that. Remember, we thought that he was a danger to people. He came back and he was programmed, and that was always a whole storyline. Totally forgot about that when he came back.
I mean, that's I mean, again, another thing it like with Lucky, it's tough for realistically, you would think Dante would have stayed in town, dealing
Yeah,
with PTSD, being with Lulu and his family. But when you've got an actor that's like, no, I'd like to leave and go pursue other stuff. I don't really want to be on the show right now. You gotta give whatever kind of reason you can, and then it is just up to the actor and the writing to try to justify that and make audiences buy that that was a reasonable reason why this character was not on the canvas when they should have been.
I agree. So I can mention these two things because they brought up in the chat room about off camera. So there's been all of this speculation about the new Lulu. So we know for a fact Emmy Rondo was not asked back, thank God. And I believe Julie Marie Berman actually turned it down. That's my favorite, obviously. The one of the major names being brought up is Jennifer Landon. Yes, of that family. She's one of Michael Landon's children. She's a three-time Emmy winner from As the World Turns. She was really good on that show. And it kind of disappeared for a while. I have not heard any. Their names are bring as people do. People bring up names, and that's all I've seen is just names. But my source, so far, my sources have not said she's the new Lulu. So I have no idea if she is or not. But it's just funny. But people bring up names, and you know how the legend grows. Like, oh, she's gonna be the new. Like, no, we don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. So that's just the deal with that. There's no, I've heard nothing that she is or not, I haven't heard anything. But I heard they are casting it. They're trying to cast the role. The other big one, I want to thank everybody. I think my video's at 6,000 views already. For my Kelly Monaco firing talk. And there's been lots of controversy. There has been a lot. We saw Sam for a minute last week or so. Also, there's been a campaign, a real big campaign. And somebody mentions Dan Kroll. So Dan Kroll's out of the business, folks. He said everybody's calling him for stuff. He sold his company, Soap Central, for over $1 million to an Indian conglomerate.
Wow.
I know. I'm gonna sell JLJ Media like that way too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna find some Indians or Chinese, somebody to buy it from me. So Dan Kroll's not in the business anymore. So he made me laugh. He's like, people keep asking me about stuff, and I'm not in the business anymore. He's like, he's living his life like it's golden right now. So he don't know nothing. So people are asking him, so he's like, I don't know anything. And also major development, Michael Maloney left Soap Hub after 30 years. Another person who's these are legends in the business. I love them both personally. And they're legends, and I will say this publicly. Both of them have supported my career from the very beginning. Dan Kroll and Michael Maloney. They are legends, and he's gone too. So I don't know, but I think he's retired. He's been in for a long. They've been in for a long time, so he's retiring. So Soap Hub, that's a big loss for you guys. So with the Kelly thing, there are certain things I'm not going to say, obviously, that I do know I'm not going to say on camera. But what I can say is, the character Sam, as we all know, has not been utilized to any kind of thing in the past, 5-6 years. Well, since the pandemic, I guess, or I'm trying to think how she hasn't really utilized that much in a way that's worth anything, kind of, right?
I mean, I guess it was like the whole Donna Day storyline may have
Yeah.
been
When was
like,
that? Were we out after Buzz? When was that? Or was that
yeah, that was certainly pre-pandemic, because then that led to the whole, getting vaccinated and Steve Burton having to leave kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
okay, you're right. Okay, yeah, so it's pre-pandemic. So let's just look at that. The show has been diminishing her for years. And again, she's a character related to everybody, like on some level to everybody. Um, and I think I tell people if you want to write your senator, if you want to write your people and try to get it back on, it's not going to work. And I actually, if I'm being fired, and her whole thing was they want her to do less hours. She's already doing less. and a cut a pay cut, obviously. She's already, I mean, that's almost, I kind of get her point. Like, almost what else? Well, I mean, one day a month. I mean, like at this point, like what's going on? So I'm looking at the bigger picture. Now, I'm not talked to Kelly, so I don't know any of this. This is things I've heard and things that they said, she said, and it's like a Deadline and Variety, all those kind of places. So I'm just saying, if this is the case, then I don't blame her going, well, never mind. And they said bye. I'm just shocked at not using Lindsay Hartley as like the Adam Huss character, like Adam Huss. Bring him on occasionally. Like the killing off thing seems very almost personal to me. Even though in soaps, Frank, as you know, you can be killed off and brought back, but it feels so strong. But I'm not going to only get rid of her. We're going to kill her off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, because I think that's the challenge because every character, whether it's Sam or Jagger, have their fans, and so it always feels weird to take a character, no matter how frequently or infrequently they're on the canvas, and then just do such a definitive thing as killing them. Uh,
Yeah.
because 5 years from now, a new regime is in, and what if they have a hot banger of a story that they want to tell with Sam and or like a Jagger or something like that. And of course with soaps, there's always a way to bring a character back from the dead. Jagger, I think less so when you definitely see the bullet wound, you see the
Yeah.
bleeding out, and then Sonny went in for a second shot. So
That second shot killed me. I was like, oh my God.
yeah,
He's like dead. You're gonna be dead. I was like, dang. But it was so realistic. It was like you said, you always have to do the talking and the big speeches, and he was like, nope, bang.
yeah,
Last time somebody did that was Dante.
that's true.
He said, bye, detective, and just shot him right there in the chest.
Yeah.
There was no big talking, nothing. And that's when Olivia goes in, you just shot your own son.
Michael did not run in for that. You just shot an FBI agent.
He sure didn't. He's like, I'll take care of this. Let's go in the house.
I mean, I will be curious to see how this plays out because that's a lot of heat for an FBI agent, even if he was acting like a cuckoo bird towards the end of his life. But still, FBI is not just going to be like, well, I guess it's unsolved.
No.
Yeah.
Look how everybody's involved. It's like we have Ava and Jason, now Carly. We have, I mean, this whole Agent Kate's death. You have Anna. You know, does Brennan have something to do with it in there somewhere? He's still floating around, and there's still Valentine out there.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy. And it's funny because they kind of do need Charlotte because of this new Lulu coming, but she is tied to Valentine and it's other stuff. So I kind of like it. It's very interesting. It's like it's like this one you kind of need them, and it's yeah. I just what's going to happen is Laura's going to find Lucky, obviously, and Holly. Something's going to go down, and they'll all be together. Um, and he'll probably save Lily.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, everybody else got tested. It's not working. I just have a feeling that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be Charlotte that saves Lulu. I mean, who knows? The show could surprise me.
They're
And
just like good. I'd love to be surprised. I'd love to be surprised. I just, someone thinks it's going to be Sam saving Lulu. That's how she dies.
it still feel well. I mean, they say in the fall that they were going to get rid of her. I
Right.
don't know when that. I mean, fall starts
Fall
what?
next month.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It could drag us on to October.
Oh boy. Oh, oh
Frankenstein.
boy.
I'm just saying, but
Just more of just Lulu, like seen from like the neck down shots.
yes, yes. You know what I mean? They literally could. I mean, the fall. Oh wait, when does fall happen, you guys? Is it September or October? I can't remember when fall happens. When officially fall happens. Somebody tell me officially what fall happens. In chat. But I'm saying that this could. I mean, that be then Dante has both his loves together.
uh, and interesting that uh what it means spinning out of that. Like Jason would be a single father now,
Yep.
and so that which also I feel like makes it then weird too for I mean, I guess you have to keep telling stories, assuming these people are going to be here for as long as
Right.
you. But like Steve Burton, if by any occasion he's not a long timer for the show either.
Okay, Frank. Fall's this month.
Oh, September
September
21st.
20th. Don't start sighing yet, Frank. Shit. Only a few weeks. Oh, it's Frank sighing already. I just said, I'm like, I thought it was October. At least it's going to be sooner than that.
Sam's a match. And then we're just gonna do a nice callback to Maxie and or BJ and or Maxie and Tony, where
Yes.
Dante will put his
Oh,
ear to
Frank,
to
you're
Lulu's
making
liver.
jokes. Frank making jokes, but I was sobbing like a baby in those scenes back then.
It was a really touching scene. It
It
was.
was. It was so
Yeah.
unexpected. It's like they had this. I mean, we're already drained from the whole experience, and to cap it all off, he go and there's Maxie, and he puts his ear against her chest. Folks, you've not seen it. You have to have ice in your veins not to start boohooing, and they make the heartbeat louder so we can hear it. I'm sorry, I mean, he's joking now, Bob, but I was sounding like a baby back then. Shit,
No, that's
I'm
true.
like a baby. I thought
Uh,
that's a great way of. It's a great dramatic way of kind of. He's hearing his daughter's heart in his
and now you will hear Sam's liver
ears. Hears it.
inside Lulu. Just the liver sounds.
Liver's like, I don't know. I don't know what liver sounds are. Um, but that would go with the whole that both his loves are together. He can still love Sam, so to speak. The memory of Sam is inside Lulu.
I don't love you, Lulu. I only love the liver inside of you.
Liver. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah. What about Dan? Well, Drew would get
Yeah.
scouts, and Danny would go to Jason basically. But
Yeah.
Danny's almost grown, so it'll be like a year or so. I
Uh,
mean,
yeah, because I mean, when Steve Burton checks out, maybe he takes Danny with him, or does Danny stick around because he's, at least 18 by that point?
they also mentioned in the chat room, and this is one of your faves. They're mentioning Monica a lot, but she's not doing well.
Yeah. But you want everybody to get dressed up.
Yes, she did. I'm wondering if they are going to finally kill her off at some point.
It's gonna be and the question for that is, would they bring her back to kind of wrap that up, or would they still do it off camera? And I don't know. I would love to be able to have her have a chance to say goodbye to the role, to the show, and but I guess it all depends on how she's, how she. I think the show would want that as well too, but it would all just depend on how she's feeling about it.
Yeah, well, I
Because I
agree.
do think,
Brad Mall deserves an Emmy. Right, so go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, because I do feel like the show would want to use Monica more if Leslie was
Yeah,
feeling in a better place about it.
I think so too.
It's a
Clearly, stuff
noticeable
going on.
absence.
Clearly, there's stuff going on. But I would love to. Yeah, Leslie Charleston would be. They would welcome. I think they would welcome her on the show. If this. So yeah. So it depends on if she's available. I know for a while it was because she wasn't sick for a while, folks. It was because of COVID concerns and her immune system. So a lot of times she didn't come to the set and stuff. And, when you're older, you gotta be careful. Um.
But there's
So
a lot of Drew and Monica scenes and Jason and Monica scenes that I would, I wish we could have had
I agree.
these past times since they've come back.
I agree. Is Brad doing the liver test? I know Marlon, right? Well, Brad, he didn't get the job yet, right? Or did he get it? I don't think he got it. He just had that meeting with Terry, and that was it.
I mean, I feel like you got to give it to him because what was the point of that scene otherwise if he's not going to get it?
Right.
And hey, how about Selena? And are we going to bring up how Selena's going to find out about Brad or feel about Brad doing that? Because
I
she was all
know.
against him doing that at the beginning.
I know.
But like she's disappeared. Where's our
Yes.
beloved Selena Wu?
I know. I love her Lydia look. She said the other day, don't forget about me. I was laughing out loud. She's like, don't forget my people. Yeah, that's another one. I know. Another one. So,
And then
but
even with Jason too is like Jason, Sonny having Jason, get rid of the gun makes sense. But I'm curious in terms of Jason's growth because I feel like, and it seems like the show feels this way, and I know I certainly feel this way. I just don't want Jason to come back to just lapse right back into
right.
being Sonny's right hand man. And it feels like the show is trying to push Jason elsewhere too. So I can see why Sonny would reach out to Jason to get rid of that gun. But I feel like at some point we have to have a moment where Sonny needs to realize, like, oh wait, Jason's not just going to be my right hand man. He's going to be doing his own thing. He's always going to be there for me, but not exactly in the same right hand man sort of way, which I would like if they did that.
Yeah. Everybody said about that Brad Malstrom one. I know that was there. The Emmys. Talk about the Emmys. But the Emmys. It's a hard thing because it's all about voting and voting blocks and things. And every once in a while they get it where we say to get it right, where everybody goes, yes, they deserved it. Um, Brad Mall, I think him and Jackie Zeman both should have won that year. I think I forgot who won in their places, but their work was so amazing. When Bobby says, "You go, you're a nurse," she goes, "But I'm also a mother." It's like, God bless America. I was like on the floor weeping on the floor. I don't like weeping on the floor because it was like one of those. That's when they wrote good drama. That's when they wrote something. It was like because it's one of those things. As a former medical professional myself, and I had to go through it last year with my mother, my own mother. They were telling me stuff. I had to go between being a former nurse who knew what they were talking about, and then this is my mother on they were talking about. So I got that. I got it now. I didn't get it back then because I had to go through it back then, but now I get it. Where you want to respond as a this, but it's personal. So yes, I agree. Both those characters, both of those actors should have won hands down, but they didn't. So somebody else won. Stuart Damon, I think, well, that year he won was deserved, well deserved
Yeah,
storyline.
for those that are heavily invested in X-Men 97,
Yeah,
like myself, we did not win the Emmy last night.
I've heard.
So,
I'm sorry to hear that, and I have reached out to the person who's been talking for an interview. He has not responded to me, so I don't know. But some are saying in circles that I run in, he ruined your Emmy chances. Don't know if that's true or not. We have no idea. I'm an Emmy voter. I don't know what Emmy voters are thinking if they care about that stuff or not. I have no idea. But I saw all the comments underneath my friends' comments, and a lot of fans are like, the show should have won. They feel like homeboys talk too much. But I don't know if Emmy voters care. I have no idea if they in that case care. But I'm sorry to hear you guys didn't win.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how all that stuff plays in. It could
I
play,
don't either.
could not. I don't know.
I know, same here. However, the show was a hit, so that's still you still win, and you have a second. You have a second about third season, so
Mhm.
you still win. So Justin Dees won. Oh, Justin Dees the guy about that. He's a good actor too. I get it, but I'm just saying that it's just that was one of those storylines that umbrella story where everybody did a great job. Even Lucy and them, when she was found, I mean, it was everybody just did a great job, and that was back when they didn't normally kill kids. That's still
Yeah.
a kind of storyline. There's only a few storylines. I mean, that one, the famous one on Young and Restless with Cassie, Cameron Grimes, that's a famous one too. They don't need to kill kids. They'll do abortions, they'll do miscarriages, they'll do false pregnancies. When it comes to an actual kid that you see grow up, they hardly do that.
So to give them some like terrible disease that they need a replacement. We got to
Yeah.
find who can provide this replacement body part.
And I will say that storyline was so shocking because it was like, okay, we have this one tragedy happening. Maxie's been sitting there waiting for a heart. Then this bus accident happens, and you're like, wait a minute. And that's what you see when Felicia finds out. It's like, oh my god, they're so excited they found a donor. It was the most fucked up story. It was so fucked up. It was so fucked up, but it was so good. It was so. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Thank you, Annie. I actually got to talk to Chriselle. Chriselle Fonzo had a birthday a couple days ago. My girl Hope on Days of Our Lives. I got to talk to her. So my girl. No, yes, and Zach's death on Days. That was a shock. And literally, and I got to ask Chriselle Alfonso, go to YouTube, just type in Zach's death days, and Chriselle Alfonso does this scream. And I asked her about it. It was so haunting that I was like, "How did you go there?" Like it was so real. Like it was like, "How did you go there?" It was another. Oh no, that's enough, guys. No, there was another death. So it's like three. Yeah, it's like three that were just like, And then just briefly for the Y&R one, it's when Joshua Morrow's character sings a lullaby as Cassie dies. You're like, oh my God. Like any heartstrings you're in there, just pull them all and pull them all out. Pull them out, Frank. I have one heartstring left over here, Frank. Just pull that shit all the way out. It was like he's like singing the lullaby to her, and they're holding her as she dies. You're like, what? Give me a break.
Oh,
Anyway, so that's baby. That's all baby stuff. Anyway, but that's I don't, yeah. Anyway, I don't. So back to the Kelly Monaco stuff and all that stuff. I don't. Casting decisions happen all the time. They happen all the time. But I don't talk about the scream. Yeah, the scream was the Christian's reaction was it was really scary. And she has kids in real life, so um, I didn't care for Oscar's death. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't care about. Everybody's like, "What about Oscar's death on GH?" I didn't. He was a teenager, I guess, but I didn't even care about the storyline. So
James,
Drew, I didn't care.
he's got a meadow
Oh my God,
named after him.
Meadow. I forgot about that. He's a Meadow. Sorry, kids. That one didn't pull my heartstrings.
I can't believe you, James.
That did nothing for me. You can watch my whole episode. I'll tell you, I didn't do anything for me. Sorry, it didn't do anything for me. I didn't care for the character Oscar, so I was like, whatever. Anyway, but no, but for the folks who, like I said before, if you feel like you want to have your voice heard, then go ahead and write the studio stuff. But I think it's not going to help. They've made their decision, and they're pretty sure in their decision, and it's very much a done deal, and they're moving on.
I mean, I feel like you will, even though there's always ways around anything, I guess,
Yeah,
but you will kind of see how definitive this is depending on how they present it to us.
yeah, yeah,
There are
yeah.
ways like a Julian Jerome where we're going to see your body in the body bag, and we're gonna or Jagger where we see you the definite chest wound and the double shot, and then there are other ones where we can't find they fell off the pier. But we can't find a body. We don't know.
Number six, other deaths. First of all, Kiki and Morgan weren't kids. I'm talking about kid deaths. They were young adults. I'm talking about kid deaths. There's very few of those. Kids, not young adults. So yeah, yes, the Kiki death was rough. I mean, Ava did her job. Morgan's death was rough too. They did their job, but they were adults. I'm talking about the kid deaths. The
Uh,
kids.
And I think that's why people always still hold out hope for Morgan because we never saw anything.
Yes, right. Maybe it was a ghost. Clearly, which doesn't mean anything
Yeah.
either. I guess and they can always be changed. Yeah, we don't know. Like this is Sheila. Well, I'm bold and beautiful. I know that's another story. There's well, there someone brought up earlier that Sam had a double or something at one point. So could it be her being killed? Because they did it on Bold and Beautiful when they kept saying it was Sheila got killed, but it was her doppelganger Sugar. And they actually brought back the actress, and it was very cool actually. The whole thing, the whole thing. But anyway, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think everybody's just sad that Sam's going. But I look at it this way: they're not using her, and she has to work. She got money to make. So I hope she can go somewhere else and be used and actually and make some money.
Yeah. And depending on how it's written off, that doesn't mean that,
Right.
3, 4 years from now, she could come back to the show as well too.
Yeah.
Many of the previous GH actors have left the show for various reasons and have also come back for various reasons as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. So that's what we know so far. That's it. I don't know any other casting choices.
And
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 of course they
to be
brought
honest,
on. Oh, forget.
to be honest, I mean that is the challenge I think with soaps as well, is that they're and because of contracts and stuff that sometimes logically it is good. It is a good time to go take a character and put them off canvas for a while,
Yeah.
especially after certain storylines, just because it's like, yeah, just give this, a break and we can bring them back and reset. But sometimes, when you've got contracts, you've still got to be around and then you're still trying to generate story and it's not there. And then you kind of lose interest in that character. And then you get to where we're at now. And you're like, well, so always down for a rest of a character. And maybe in a couple of years it comes back and you're like, holy cow, they're doing some really great stuff with this character now.
Yeah. We cannot end the show without talking about a piece of a storyline that has people completely divided. Lois at her voice. They brought on a Saturday Night Live actress, forgot her name in real life, to play the voice coach that Tracy hires. There's this whole storyline. And I did chuckle when they had Brooklyn and Olivia and them all together going off on this chick. It was kind of funny. And some were like, we got rid of Sam for this. I mean, like, they're two different things. And this actress, I'm sure, didn't cost a lot of money to get. Um, it's funny because obviously I just watched Bold and Beautiful, and Rita Sulfur was a whole other character. She had a regular voice. But to me, Lois's charm is her voice on the show. That's what makes her so different. They've always kept Olivia with that, and Brooklyn both have always kept their accents. I love it. But it's the story. I guess I don't know what your thought. I don't know. I have no. I'm just like,
When this started being teased at her home and heart appearance, which still, hey, props that they were still bringing Morgan Fairchild
yes,
in the
they
show.
are a girl and bringing her on the bring. Yeah, that's
That's
right.
great. So always love that. And for once to have like a time that she's on the show where she's not an absolute jerk.
Right.
Where you're just like, oh, she's just here to just mess stuff up and be irritating. This is actually she was supportive of the stuff, which was great. But when they start the whole dialect or accent stuff started coming out, I was like, this is the storyline we're doing with Lois. This out of any other things that we could be doing with Lois, this is a story beat we're deciding we wanted to explore right now. So frustrating that we're doing that and also pumping it up to be way more than it is. I can understand the wanting to, have a different presentation for if you're trying to sell product to a wider swath of people, perhaps. And so somebody exploring like, hey, maybe I just need, time to turn it on and off. And at least they with our SNL cast member who's a big GH fan. So I was glad that she got a chance to do something like that. At least they had her being a voice of reason where it wasn't like, oh, there's something wrong with Lois, but I'm just giving her the tools to be able to turn it on, turn it off, depending on what she would like to do. And, and Lois's the way she was acting afterwards with a really slow speech, like, oh, holy cow, what is this? So I don't know. This is a dumb story beat. I don't think we needed to do it. Uh, and I'm hoping that this is just. I mean, I guess we have to see that the next Home and Heart appearance
Right.
to have her to see that, and then we get the people coming back to the feedback being like, "We miss your accent. Why are you speaking like this?"
I'm hoping that's what it leads to. I'm hoping the message is, I guess, because I have family from Brooklyn, it's very offensive to me, this whole storyline. I love their accents. I was about Flobo, who's from Brooklyn, and his accent comes out sometimes. I love it. It bugs the shit out of me, this whole storyline. To me, it's very offensive. And I think if it comes out, she goes back on, does it, and they lose sales, and she realizes her accent was part of her charm, then I will be fine with the storyline then. If it gets it to where the fact that it rediscovers herself, that she's fine the way she is, then I will be okay with the storyline.
I feel like that has to be the ending for it, because otherwise, are you supposed to be making us buy that the Lois role that we know for so long is just like, no, she wasn't that great because she had a terrible, Brooklyn accent. No, not at all. It's the whole reason that was part of her charm, the reason why fans fell for her.
Well, the thing is, they didn't. But see, the point is, they never said they never said the product was going down. They said, "Well, they love her wherever she goes." So I'm like, well, then why would you touch
Yeah.
that part? If we different said she's going around town, she's offending people, no one understands what she's saying. Like, then I would say okay, but they're saying that she's doing fine. Every appearance, she's great, and they love her. I'm like, so then why would you change what they love about her? And that's just kind of Michelle. Let's go to chat. As a Southern person with accent, she needs to leave her alone. That's the thing. I'm saying it's offensive. Folks who have accents, it's kind of offensive to people saying that she's. I guess. I mean, Tracy being bitchy to her about her accent, that's just normal. That's Tracy. That's that's what you do. But this whole thing with their business world, and I'm a basically code switch. I can be this if I need to. Like it did. I didn't laugh. I didn't think it was funny. I did. It just didn't work for me whatsoever.
Uh, it's it feels like now this is the kind of stuff that we're
Private
talking
writing, yes.
which seems so weird to me on this. So uh, I hope, and it feels just like one of those things as a commentary of people meddling with something that is already working great, thinking that it could be even better, and this is what was missing. So if the sales are already doing great, this is their best home and heart appearance ever.
Right.
But yet people will still critique it like, but hold on, what if she didn't have an accent? Couldn't sales even possibly be better? So maybe Tracy learns a lesson. It's like you shouldn't have tinkered with stuff because it was great as it was, and now you see
Well,
sales are dead.
I thought they were trying to send a message because when Brooklyn's like, well, people online are crazy. People online are. It's like it's kind of funny. I'm like, maybe they're making a commentary on the fans of General Hospital. I'll take that. Like, okay, they're doing, some people they're just bitches online, blah blah. And she was saying all this stuff. I go, that's kind of I can go there. Like that's kind of funny, and I like that. And my thing is, to the folks who will say to me, or I don't know why you're offended, or that's fine. Maybe for you doesn't mean anything to you. As I said, this is kind of a polarizing because some people are not offended by the storyline. They think it's funny and think it's fine. And some folks don't like that voice. There are some folks who don't like those accents. But to anybody who has an accent and knows what it's like to be somewhere else where they say you sound dumb if you're from the South, those kind of certain accents, or you say certain things like in Minnesota and oh you betcha to make fun of that stuff. It's like for someone, this is real stuff. This is real. And these are folks who actually are. And nowadays, I mean, I've been in corporate worlds, I've been in hospital world, I've been all over, I've worked all kinds of jobs. And the accent thing doesn't mean anything anymore. And I think for most people, man, I disagree. Some people in the chat, I disagree with you guys completely. I've been in those worlds. It doesn't mean anything, and it really doesn't. It's fine. And I think it's an antiquated way of looking at stuff. Like maybe a long time ago it was, but nowadays I don't know what accents you are professional CEO. I mean, it's. I don't think. I think it's. Sometimes we go a little too backwards in time. Like it's not like that anymore. So I think it's fine.
And admittedly, I'm not listening. The home shopping network type of programming is not something I'm on ever. So the phone call from the lady customer that was laying into this accent seems so weird to me that they would keep this call on for that long and just have this lady just get on some kind of soapbox and talking about this stuff. I'm like, what? Why would you keep this negative Nancy on that is not talking about the product, that is just being critical of the host, the spokesperson, and just like, well, thank you for your call and hang up. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Because I always feel like I don't have an accent. I'm from California. I'm from California. We don't have accents, but I go places. They go, "You have an accent?" No, I don't. I'm from California. I don't have an accent, and that's always our joke. Is that you anywhere you go somewhere else, everybody kind of has an accent. And then, you know what I mean? Everybody kind of has some kind of way they talk. It's just kind of how it. But like I always joke, I don't have an accent. I'm from California. I don't have an accent. I just talk like this. You know. But and a lot of advertising used to always use the Midwest way of talking for commercials. They liked the way that enunciation sounded. That was the whole thing. But they've changed that now too. That's not the. They've changed that. But I just think yeah, it's fine. I think it's I don't think anybody cares that much. I think nowadays it's if they don't like you for something, I don't think it's because of your accents. It's probably other stuff. More than that.
Uh, I realize the other thing we haven't talked about as well is the funeral of the baby. The baby.
I thought we didn't talk about that. I thought we did already. Oh,
With
I guess we didn't.
was
Well,
really great is that we saw Hat Daddy back. But I loved,
for a minute, yes, he came back. Yes.
yes. So I was like, thank you. That's where he's been. Okay, great.
So They brought back Stella too. We gotta mention her too. Brought Renee Watson. And I'll tell you something. It's funny because these are two great actors, multiple Emmy winners, especially for their roles on the show. And the show doesn't want to invest in them, apparently. Not really, not for anything major. Not for anything major. They really want to, apparently, this reoccurring, come on. I'm glad they recognized they had to have them on the show because they're part of TJ's family. So I was very happy they did. They had to. It would have been really strange if they weren't there. So I'm kind of glad they were there. And to me, having Stella there was more important than Jordan on some level. I mean, Jordan's his mother, but I felt like she's Aunt Stella, and she comes with that stature, right? So I enjoyed that they played to that for sure. And that we saw a bunch of Ashfords all together support both of them in a way. So I do appreciate that. Then we have the Corinthos Davises and all them on the other side too. And Lindsay Hartley was there actually, playing Sam. So I don't know where Kelly Monaco was that day of filming. But they realized Sam had to be there still too. She could not be there also. She had to be there. I love Lindsay Hartley. You guys know that already. I love her. It is. I'm glad they devoted a little time to this, just only because we never see these characters have a story. I wasn't invested in Molly and TJ until recently, kind of. I started getting a little more invested in them a little bit. With this Christine thing, we all knew it was going to go wrong. We all knew. We all knew it was going to go wrong. We knew. So all the dynamics as they played out kind of made sense. Having Rick come back, amazing for that. So I give him points for all of that. Now, folks, as you know, people were probably shocked that I was defending Kate Manzi. Some people know how I feel about that actress. I thought she did a wonderful job. I know she got flack for some of her stuff. I thought that Christina gave as good as she got, and that Kate and the new chick who plays Molly, I think her name is Christina Vangness or something. It's like somebody tell her name. You can tell me in chat her name in real life. Those two, when they went back and forth, I was like, okay, now I'm getting it. Now I get it. They're both kind of holding their own. And Molly was going off. And I thought this chick did such a good job. And everybody, you saw everybody just stand there. TJ, where they all just shut the fuck up. Except for Alexis. And again, Nancy Lee Grahn, we know she can act. And so Nancy Lee Grahn, was with them both at the same time. Just like, this is Kristen Vangnos. She worked it out. I'm sorry. She was like, and when she was like, "Oh, you think I'm playing about her trying to keep my child? Let me pull the paperwork out." And everybody's face was like, they all were like, and he goes, "You killed my baby." And they all just kind of looked at her, just say, "You killed it." And Christina, folks, she's always been impulsive. That's Christina. So all the storyline beats of that funeral actually make sense to me, because even in the chapel, Christina did kind of make herself like the grieving mother. She did. I got something to say, like, oh, geez, and crackers. Okay, okay, girl. And Alexis was torn, and I get it. When you have several, I've been in the middle of my children's stuff sometimes, and it's just kind of, I just thought, I know folks are complaining about her collapsing on the grave. That stuff doesn't bother me. To me, I thought that was in the moment. Maybe the director told her to do that. Who knows? I actually enjoyed these two young actresses coming together head to head, which we knew was going to happen at some point. It was very soapy dramatic. and I actually enjoyed it. And so I'm finding myself, yes, Kate Manzi was on Twitter clapping back at people. They were going off on her or whatever. She was going back at them. And again, I'm defending Kate Manzi. You have a right to clap. She has a right to clap back. You come at her, tag her and stuff. She has a right to say something. So I'm like, I mean, that she does, whether you like her or not, she does. Um, and and some parents, and when Alexis said, I don't have to worry about Molly. She's stronger. Some parents don't mean to do that, but as a kid who was always kind of left alone because I was the stronger one, I can relate to it. So, Frank, that's my initial overall reactions to the whole thing. Now, Frank's going to say he hated the whole thing and he's dead inside. Go for
I
it.
hated the whole thing. I
Yeah,
am.
yeah, 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 yeah.
What I scenes that I thought were interesting to me were the Rick and Alexis at Alexis's home, where Rick was just trying to explain, much like you were saying there at the end, where it's that yes, Christina may have needed more attention, but that does not say that Molly does not, even if she's the stronger one, does still not need your attention as well too. And Alexis was just, and I think that was one of those cases where it's not the message, it's the messenger. Where from somebody else, Alexis may have taken that in a little bit more, but Rick is not the best person to be able to have that conversation with
No,
Alexis.
no.
And I did like the Molly and Dex conversation where Molly felt comfortable after that to wanted to go to Alexis and talk to her about those feelings. But I'm only really bummed that we never really got to see like that follow-up conversation. I wanted to see that conversation between Alexis and Molly about
I
that
agree.
particular dynamic.
I agree. It was it, when she was like, Adela, what'd you call her?
Yeah.
I was like, Christina, but I mean, mom about to get gangster all of a sudden. She's like, excuse you? What'd you say? I was like, ooh, it's on. When that happened, I knew it was on. Woo!
Yeah.
Um, and it needed to happen. And I think we did talk about it towards the beginning of the show. Um, but I saw all the different dynamics. They're the Davis sisters, everybody's all close, but there's dysfunction there too. There's total dysfunction. And Sam just like, I don't know what to do with these people. I don't know what's going on. She really didn't do much. But then having Rick like be a father all of a sudden was very interesting. Because part of it was to get back at Alexis, kind of like just annoy her. That's all it was. It was to annoy her. But Messi doesn't love Molly, but part of that was to annoy. Um, but I'm glad it all came out. And when Molly was saying, TJ, I'm so sorry, I defended her and I should have, I mean, it's like, because we never, I feel like this storyline, I said before, it allowed TJ to be a leading character. I felt like we never seen him to be a lead. And we had to see his feelings. When he was talking to Stella, when he was talking to his mother, when he was talking, and how he was resenting when him and Molly were drifting apart, and afterwards, and even Jordan was like, I kind of resent Molly a little bit for not being there for him, and then trying to pick a name. All that stuff leading up to it was very realistic, and I think even Stella leaving the room and he decided to name her Irene. Oh, again, heartstrings pulled, and Curtis goes after her, and she falls apart. But that's a very matriarchal thing. You go in private,
Yeah.
let them see it. You do your thing over here, and then you go back in to be there for your children and grandchildren and nieces and nephews. And they said in the chat, caretakers and strong people need love and support. Trust me, I just went through it, and I'm kind of going through it still a little bit, but I went through it mainly last year, and it is tough for us. We have to go through it. It's not easy, and you don't know when. And it's one. And I'll say just a personal experience. There are times when you feel like if I do let go, I won't get back out. Like if I do cry, I won't stop. There's one. Sometimes it's that heavy. You're just like I can't let that out. But I feel like on the show, they completely kind of show different sides of that. And having the multi-generational component, having Hat Daddy be a very strong support, and Stella coming in and being a strong support, it adds to that. And I thought Taj really did a great job with his family, so to speak, with them. And showed that.
The scene with Rick and TJ, where Rick was just like, hey, I just want to touch base because Molly talks to
Oh
me, but
yeah, yes, he did.
really
Yes,
saying what the real deal is. And interesting to see how he feels where he and Molly are at that, where TJ is feeling all the pain, but he just can't, he wants to move past that and just feels that Molly is not in that place. He just wants somebody to pay for what happened. And so I'll be curious to see what happens between Christina and Molly because of that, between TJ and Molly because of that.
and again, the Ava quotient. The trials are going for Ava.
Yeah.
So what's Molly going to do? Is Molly going to side with Ava? Remember, she was saying Christina went over there because the truth is, and I know last time, I think on my Zooms too, we had a huge fight about this. But my thing is, Homegirl went to Ava's hotel room. That was mistake number one. I mean, what do you expect? You and Ava aren't friends. So you go to her hotel room to confront her. What do you expect? Anything, I mean, to me, anything is possible.
Ava's not gonna be like, you're right. Let
Right.
me call, let me call Scotty right now. Tell him to
Sorry,
pull
my bad. No, she's not
over.
going. So it's like, so I agree with Molly and them. You couldn't wait another. But I do believe Christina thought she was saving her family. I actually believe that too. In her mind, she didn't want to testify against her father or her sister. I think she really thinks that for real.
Yeah. But just not taking a look, down at her belly, realizing, uh-oh, wait a minute.
Right.
I can't do things that I normally would, that if I weren't pregnant. If I weren't pregnant, great. Go over there, get in Ava's face, still fall out that window, good times. Make a splash in the pool, make Gio's face go weird.
I, yeah, it's all good times.
Yeah.
I know. It's just, I mean, it's painful. It's painful. It's just all around. There's nothing great about this. But I just feel like the trial will be now the interesting part because Molly was kind of like, So I don't know. And
I'm waiting for the next story beat of somebody like an intrepid young tour guide, maybe working with Lucy Coe about her book, about the tour, the scandals and tours and sites of Port Charles, and incorporating the Metro Court window and pool. And right up there is the window that Christina Corinthos.
but here's the thing. So I believe Christina and Molly are staying on the show, folks. I believe they're not going nowhere. And so folks who try off with their heads and shit, that's not going to happen. Um, but I would like to have some really good story from this. I mean, I would like to see that. I'd like to see that happen. You know, we're going to keep
Yeah.
them on. Let's keep this going. I know there's been rumors about the first baby's not really dead. And all that. They're all just rumors. We have no idea what's happening. Some of these sites, be careful what you watch. They're just clickbait. They have no idea what they're talking about. It's easy to put these shows, they get 80, 90,000 views because they put up a thumbnail of, TJ's original child's alive. I mean, like, a lot of times they're not. So just be careful which sites you read from. There are only a few sites that I believe, the rest I don't read from at all. So there's that. Was that everything, Frank?
I think it was.
Jesus Christ, we've done 2 hours of this show. Frank, though, before we go,
Yes,
last time you hit 300,000 emails.
I did.
So fans want to know, what have you decided and where are you at today?
You know what? Admittedly, I have given it zero thought.
There you go, kids. I'm like, well, you said it.
Gave it zero thought. Currently at 304.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Out of sight, out of mind, I guess. I just don't look at that. Don't look at that number on my mail icon, and it all just keeps going. I really should give it some time. I don't know when I'll do that though.
Oh my goodness, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Well, there's your cliffhanger, kids. He's still going. 304. He's still
That's
going.
true. Yeah, there you go.
He is still going. I love it. So folks, there's no more Star Wars stuff until we heard December, right? So we're
Yeah.
back for Star Wars. Someone asked me the other day, I go, there's nothing new coming out. They don't have anything coming out this fall, right? They don't. So weird.
Not until Skeleton Crew in December.
Yeah, they usually have it timed out a little better than that. But I think the whole strike thing just look at your FaceTime. They want to know what your FaceTime count is. His phone's gonna blow up.
It's true. Oh, yeah. I
He's an
mean,
email hoarder, LOL. Email hoarder. But I think his FaceTime count. You have anything on Facebook? You want people FaceTime trying to FaceTime you?
no, I have nothing on my FaceTime count. So my
Yeah,
FaceTime
there's
very
nothing there,
active.
folks. Yeah, I don't think they might try to FaceTime you.
But if you're looking at my messages, then
Look
yeah,
at that. 252. Come on, Frank. Come on. They're
there
probably
you
half
go.
my spam. My spam.
There you go.
I get a lot of spam all the time. That is hilarious, you guys. Well, thanks. We had up to 85 people watching at once. So thank you guys for making this my number one show on the network. We've been going strong. This is our 9-year anniversary. Frank's been doing it completely the whole time. I did Jason Spotlight the whole time, but it wasn't always recaps. So we're both reaching 9 years in various ways, but it's all the same. Basically, it's all under the same umbrella. I created both shows, so they're kids.
There you go.
So we are. I am planning something for Frank. So don't worry. He doesn't know what it is yet. So I'm planning something for Frank in a few weeks. So we're gonna celebrate the last weekend because we started somewhere in between there at AfterBuzz. Oh, and I was looking at the number. We moved to a new studio. That was the whole thing. So you can't wait till so folks, if you don't know, we had already cast it and everything. We did our little sample shows. Like you wait like 6 months until we get to the new studio. No, it's so weird. It's like, why can't we just start now? I was already doing days, but it made us wait. And then we started, and the rest was history. So we're going to be talking about that soon. And yes, Tammy Govea and I celebrated 7 years together. So you're my two longest co-hosts ever I've ever had. So you two, Tammy Govea and Frank Moran.
Woo!
That's right, Aaron's cousin. From Happy Days. But actually, are you guys related or no?
Of course, yes. She's one of our treasured family icons.
Icons. I've only seen the name twice in my life, so I'm like that one and you. So I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, folks. So we'll see you in 2 weeks on the 22nd. We'll be back. I'll be with the Hardys next weekend in Vancouver. We'll be back with another episode of GH. And so, Frank, what's going on for you? You got Happy Go Jackie is your thing? Anything exciting going on or no?
No, still working on season 2, X-Men 97, maybe trying to get another Emmy nom again. Fingers
Yes.
crossed.
Are we thinking, was it early 2025 or mid 2025? What's coming out?
I don't know. They have I have a feeling it might be a little longer than that, but we'll see, depending on what the scheduling gods at Disney say to us. But yeah, no specific air date set yet. We're just working away.
Yeah, I think so. I saw that you guys were, that you were having it, but I didn't see a date either. So you're doing that. Everyone, take care of yourself. If you're in hot weather conditions, stay hydrated, folks. Seriously, drink lots of water. It is crazy out there. So like for us here, I'm trying to drink lots of water and hide in a hotel. But if you don't have a hotel to hide into, drink lots of water and lay low.
And James has got a whole other bed in that room, so if somebody needs a place to crash.
Don't call me. Bye, everybody.